You're welcome to COVID-19 updates, where we bring you developments on the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the global, African and Nigerian economy. Here are the following updates we have at the moment. At the global level, the confirmed cases are 3,272,285 with 38,084 deaths and also 1,070,792 recoveries. In Africa, the confirmed cases are 39,087 with 1,642 deaths and 12,668 recoveries. In Nigeria, the confirmed cases are 1,932 with 58 deaths and 219 recoveries. Let's give you updates on the key developments across the world. The pandemic of COVID-19 is clearly still a global health emergency and is of particular concern as it spreads more widely in countries with weak health systems, the World Health Organization has said. 3 months after the World Health Organization Emergency Committee first advised WHO's Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus to declare a public health emergency over the new coronavirus, Dr. Tedros said the pandemic remains a public health emergency of international concern. Tedros said they had grave concerns about the potential impact of the disease as it starts to accelerate in countries with weaker health systems. As we have done clearly from the beginning, we will continue to call on countries to implement a comprehensive package of measures to find, isolate, test and treat every case and trace every contact, Tedros told a briefing at the World Health Organization's Geneva, Switzerland headquarters. In Zimbabwe, President Emerson Mnangagwa has extended the coronavirus lockdown by 2 more weeks and announced a $720 million stimulus for distressed companies, most which will be allowed to open from Monday, 4th of May. The Southern African nation has been on a lockdown for 5 weeks to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, shutting an economy struggling with shortages of foreign currency, food, electricity, and medicines. The largest United States airlines are moving rapidly to mandate facial coverings for all passengers, with Southwest Airlines Corporate and Alaska Airlines on Friday joining other major airlines in imposing the measures to address the spread of the coronavirus and convince reluctant passengers to resume flying. United Airlines, Delta Airlines Incorporated, and American Airlines Group Incorporated, along with smaller Frontier Airlines, which is owned by private equity firm Indigo Partners LLC, announced on Thursday that they will require facial coverings next month following JetBlue Airways Corporation's. Some airlines like Southwest will provide masks if passengers forget to bring them on board, as they announce new cleaning procedures to reassure consumers that the industry is safe. And now to Nigeria. Financial Derivatives Company Limited, a leading research advisory and analyst firm, has published its latest article on ProShare website highlighting the lockdown, food scarcity, and social unrest looming. It listed the following as the impact of the lockdown at the moment. Spike in food prices. As people began stocking up for the lockdown period, prices of domestic commodities jumped by over 50%, making it even more difficult for people to purchase a decent meal for a day, let alone 4 weeks. For example, a bag of garri 50 kg previously sold for 8,500 naira is now sold for 12,000 naira. In terms of food scarcity, with major markets closed and movement restricted, transportation of food to states like Lagos has been reduced drastically. Popular staples like yam, garri, plantain that are brought in from the north, south, east, and southwest have now become scarce. Meanwhile, traders now trek to central markets to purchase staples for resale in their local areas. In terms of income cuts, individuals who make daily wages have had to bear with a 3-week disruption in their means of livelihood, and these are mainly players in the informal sector like traders and taxi drivers. These people have low income levels, no savings or pensions that provide a social safety net, and over 70% are poor. The informal sector makes up about 80% of Nigeria's active working forces, and in Lagos alone, about 65% of the state's population work in this sector. For social unrest, which is an issue that has been raised in this article, this is the ripple effect of hunger and no money. Survival instincts are setting stage in local communities, and the probability of the states on lockdown to deal with this unrest alongside COVID-19 is almost inevitable. In Lagos and Ogun, places like Agege, Iyanukwaja, Ogba, Okera, Ayobo, and Moe are experiencing what is called survival-induced robbery, and both young and old have taken to the streets as vigilantes to protect their own. Now, are the palliatives enough? The article says the federal and state governments are undoubtedly set on the right path with abrupt palliatives and directives to tackle the problem of food scarcity and poverty during this period, with some of this which include conditional cash transfers of 20,000 naira to households in Abuja, financial support to the urban poor, who are regarded as citizens who have 5,000 naira and below in their bank accounts, and people who top 100 naira or less on their phones. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development mentioned that these people will be identified using the National Social Register, BVN numbers, and phone credit history. The emergency food market set up in several local government areas in Lagos State. The question of whether they are enough highly depends on the reach, implementation, effectiveness, and sustainability through these COVID-19 times. If the current measures are enough, it is expected to reach the target audience, financially vulnerable in all 36 states, equally and fairly. Transportation and distribution of food items to individuals and households and conditional transfers should be made at the right time and to the right people. Finally, these measures should be sustained throughout the designated period to avoid food scarcity, social unrest, health care, and the COVID-19 crisis deepening. Now we go on to the International Labour Organization. Today is the World Workers' Day and is marked across the world as May Day. The International Labour Organization has called for urgent, targeted, and flexible measures to support workers and businesses, particularly smaller enterprises, those in the informal economy, and others who are vulnerable. For millions of workers, no income means no food, no security, and no future. As the pandemic and the jobs crisis evolve, the need to protect the most vulnerable becomes even more urgent. Mr. Guy Ryder, the ILO Director General, said, "Measures for economic reactivation should follow a job-rich approach, backed by stronger employment policies and institutions, better resourced and comprehensive social protection systems. International coordination on stimulus package and debt relief measures will also be critical to making recovery effective and sustainable. International labor standards, which already enjoy tripartite consensus, can provide a framework. As the pandemic and the jobs crisis evolve, the need to protect the most vulnerable becomes even more urgent." Director General Mr. Guy Ryder reaffirmed, "For millions of workers, no income, no means, no security, no future. Millions of businesses around the world are barely breathing. They have no savings or access to credit. These are the real faces of the world of work. If we don't help them now, these enterprises will simply perish." Those are the words from the Director General of the International Labour Organization, re-emphasizing the need for global coordination and intervention for workers in this very trying time of the COVID-19 pandemic that is adversely affecting the global economy. And that will be all for this edition of the COVID-19 updates. You can follow our discussions on our website, www.proshareng.com, to get insights, videos, and news stories. And in this period, ProShare, Nigeria's leading information hub, has packaged for you a platform that gives you credible and reliable market data and analysis on the impact of COVID-19 on the global and Nigerian economy. Log on to proshareng.com/COVID-19 and you can also get all those data and analysis you need. Also, you can follow our social media platforms showing on the screen for further updates on our market reports. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and stay safe.